It's midday on a Saturday, and Chief Inspector David YAPU is patrolling Manus Island. But it's not the locals that are keeping him busy. It's the refugees and asylum seekers sent here by Australia.
We've seen a number of cases of attempted suicide, self-harm, and that is something that it's a surprise to us because it's been happening within the short period of time.
Just this morning there was another suicide attempt. It's more than the local police can handle.
This is something that it's beyond our control, but as I've said, we're trying our best. Our best we can deal with the current situation.
It's been almost 6 years since the asylum seekers were first brought here. The detention centre has now closed and they can move about the island freely. But refugee and author BOOCHANI says morale has taken a turn for the worse.
So far, about 50 people attempt suicide and self-harm in Manus Island and some of them in Port Moresby. One person in East Lorongor refused to eat.
He's part of a small group helping document cases of self-harm.
Every day I wake up with nightmares, because every day dealing with all these sick people, as you're both too,
Yeah.
Most recently, a man had to be briefly hospitalised after he set himself on fire. Many former detainees had pinned their hopes on Labor winning the election and accepting New Zealand's offer to take 150 people from Manus and Nauru. Some thought they may even get to Australia, despite both sides of politics ruling that out.
Some of the refugees who attempt suicide, they left some letters and they say that we cannot continue anymore, or I am not able to continue, I am not able to survive anymore. So the whole situation is this, that people completely lost hope.
There are about 500 refugees and non-refugees still living in Papua New Guinea. Some refugees are being accepted to live in the United States. The Australian government says the others must resettle in Papua New Guinea.
No, they are not capable, this country is not capable to accept refugees and provide a situation that people start a new life here.
A mobile squad of paramilitary police has been brought in from Port Moresby and is responding to many of the self-harm reports.
When we attend to the campsite, we just noticed, I think, a large amount of medicine around his bed. So he might have consumed, I think, a big amount of medicine.
These units have been accused of being heavy-handed in the past.
I think so far I've not had any allegations of them overuse of the force. They've been dealing with refugees in a professional manner.
While there is a health clinic for the men, they often end up at the local hospital. Doctors say they've seen more self-harm cases than actual suicide attempts.
They want to get to Australia and nobody is listening to their plea, so instead they're coming to the hospital to protest. And I think the hospital is the wrong place also to be presenting here. But of course, if people have have been in a place for too long, and you get mentally affected also.
The asylum seeker program has brought money and much-needed jobs to Manus, but many locals in the small community have had enough.
For us, the people, we didn't know about it. The decision came from the top between Port Moresby and Australia for the asylum seekers to come to us in Manus, but we don't need them here.
I want them to leave.
But now I'm 6 years.
It's been 6 years, so the government of PNG and Australia need to find a place to resettle them now.
Put him up always, resettle him all now.
The governor of the Manus province is hearing the complaints of his constituents.
I think Australian government should do something about it immediately. PNG government can do much, and Manus can do much. They don't want to be here. In Australia, you have to take responsibility.
The Australian Home Affairs Department didn't respond to specific questions about the Manus governor's calls for action. But in a statement to 7:30, it said it continues to work closely with the governments of PNG and Nauru to ensure that transferees are provided with appropriate health and welfare support services. In the meantime, the paramilitary police will continue to patrol the accommodation centres and keep an eye on the men inside.
My big worry and the concern is about their safety. You know, once they do something drastic and they lose their life, life is gone. You will never get their life back.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.